The Mikara Session is in session. A podcast for millennials looking to align their internal confidence compass.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mikara Session. My name is Danielle, and I'll be doing this interview, helping you get to know Mikara.
Hey!
So the tagline for this podcast is a podcast for millennials looking to align their personal confidence compass. Now, that was a lot to digest.
I know. It's catchy, though.
It is. So I'm going to give you a chance to explain what that means. Go ahead,
So yes, I've been through a lot of various situations, and, a lot of people see me as looking, pretty. I compose myself a lot. So I feel like I have a lot of information, a lot of stories to convey to a lot of audiences. And I think a lot of people will benefit from my story, and definitely some discussions that I have with my friends or with people that I meet with different variations of industries that I come across.
Okay, so what made you want to do a podcast? I feel like we're in the era where a blog is everything. So what made you want to speak and let people hear your voice?
Well, a lot of people have been asking me to do a blog. I'm not really a sit-down type of person. I move around a lot. I travel a lot. My friends definitely know I travel a lot. But I feel like a podcast would be definitely beneficial to me. It'll be definitely my audio blog. I have a lot of stories. I feel like I want to be vulnerable. I want to convey a lot of stories that I feel like a lot of younger people should know, because it's not being, told in the right way nowadays. Everybody's put up front to be pretty, or you have to be composed a certain way. And I feel like, certain stuff needs to be told, because a lot of millennials are not told certain situations. So they're kind of left in the dark with a lot of things.
So do you feel like a podcast is a way to be more personal with, I guess, your fans, viewers, listeners?
Absolutely.
Okay. So what exactly is the Mikara Session? What should people look for when listening?
Well, when they listen to the Mikara Session, I'm just going to let you know that I'm just be prepared for a variation of real life situations. It's not just glitz and glam with me, because if you see me, I probably look, nice and polished and fashion forward, but I've been through some real interesting stories that you probably would never think that I've gone through. And I feel like I want to help people, because in my past position as an infectious preventalist, I was interested in helping people, but I didn't feel that was the area for me to help people. So I find that this will be a good way for me to help people.
Okay, so what are the expectations that you have for this podcast? What type of success are you looking for? Do you want to be the next, a more real version of TMZ, or what are you looking to be?
No celebrity over here, but progression. I feel like learning what's next, or learning to becoming, just always progressing, because, you never stop growing. I'm never going to stop growing. I just feel like, reaching out to the youth, people that's younger than me, if they want to learn, you learn from other people's mistakes. And I want to show that and convey that in my podcast. So progression is something, and just inspiring, influencing, always influencing, definitely influencing. So if I can influence many others and they are on my side, or they listen to me, that would be a great, accomplishment for my podcast.
So are you looking to inspire both men and women, or this is a women-only thing? What exactly are you looking for?
I would like to inspire both, but definitely a woman, because I live a woman lifestyle.
Right.
But definitely both would be good, but mainly women.
Now, when we spoke a couple of weeks ago, you told me that you do e-visuals and things like that. So will you be bringing that to the podcast, or just your brand in general? Will you be expanding that?
I did help a brand during New York Fashion Week. I'm definitely interested in doing something on my behalf, helping people, find their style development. I'm definitely into visuals, helping people find how to shop cheaper, look fashion forward without spending so much money, and just know how to play with stuff. Look great, but still keep money in your pocket.
Okay, so you brought up Fashion Week, and I can see from sitting in front of you, you have on a bomb blazer. You're very into style, and that's kind of what the Mikara Session and the Mikara brand is about. So what does style mean to you?
Style means so much to me because I do not talk very much. You definitely see me more than you hear me sonically when like I go anywhere. I feel like it's my language. This is what I speak. You can tell by whatever I'm dressing how I'm feeling. Of course, if I wear something very deep cut, I'm feeling sexy that day. Or if I just feel colorful, I'm wearing a lot of colors. You could just tell my whole aura when I wear something because I definitely use clothes as my language.
Okay, and who influenced your style? A lot of people have designers, a lot of people have celebrities. So who would you say inspired you?
I'm definitely inspired by just life in general. I've been blessed to travel, to a lot of states in America, along overseas. So I've seen a lot of things. So I've been inspired by a lot of things. And sometimes I get inspired by just, I don't know, a homeless person, by how they have like a scarf wrapped around their neck or something. I don't know. I just get inspired by a lot of things. It's just not one thing in particular.
Okay, so how would you describe your own style?
Moody.
Moody.
Moody. I'm definitely moody. I'm not one of those that can lay out their clothes at the night before because in the morning I may feel a total different way and I will switch up the whole thing. So I would definitely say moody.
Okay, so I guess that answers the question of how you set the tone for your looks is based on how you feel in the morning.
Yeah, it's how I feel. I cannot go by the whole trends, no. I don't like listening to rules. I listen to my own rules, but yeah, I'm very moody. It just depends on how I feel.
So I know a lot of people think that they're stylish, and some people, other people feel that they're stylish. Do you feel that you're as stylish as other people think you are, or is just a comfort thing for you?
At first, I did not. I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm going to say like around my mid-20s because I'm almost 30 now. Lord Jesus. Yeah, I'm going to say, around my mid-20s into grad school, I just noticed, when I was in a different location in Miami, I just noticed a lot of reactions to everybody's face. And then when I went to another state, it would be like the same reaction. And I just started noticing that, and a lot of people would get inquiries, would you style me or what's your input on stuff? And I just get more and more of that. So I just started taking that approach into styling.
So you mentioned earlier that you had a different occupation before you got into the fashion industry, and you talked a little bit just now about other people talking to you about your own sense of style. Yeah. So is that what made you decide to move into the fashion industry, or what exactly made you or helped you make that decision?
Well, I've been kind of into the whole health industry because my mom was sick ever since I was 9 years old. So I've always been like driven by the whole health industry, but I've been kind of like in and out of of the fashion industry. I'm going to say in my teens, but I just did not feel confident enough at the time, and I didn't know myself. I didn't think I was pretty enough because I was dark skinned, quote unquote. But what made me kind of go into it, I think I was in class one day and I was just drawing. I was just not paying attention in class. And it just, that imagination just kept growing and growing, and creativity just started going. And people would really like take my creativity thoughts into consideration. And I felt more passionate about that than what I was doing as a nurse. So I kind of just stopped myself 2 years ago and said I'm going to have to do this full throttle before it's too late, before I regret it.
And is the idea of living with that regret what made you decide to go into it? Because I know for a lot of women in general, especially Black women, they're dealing with that fear of going into doing what they love and following their passion. So is that what made you decide to do it?
Yes, I got tired of just being so confined. I just felt like I need to do this as like a breakthrough for me, because me just feeling confined in my own head I would go crazy, and that's something I did not want to go through. So I just slowly but surely was putting down the nursing thing and just, properly, positioning myself Whereas I feel like right now I feel like I should go full throttle because I've definitely positioned myself. I'm connecting the dots. I have a couple of ventures under my belt. So I feel like this is the right time.
Okay. And so what advice would you give women that are kind of stuck on the fence about following their passion and staying to what's, I guess, ideal, what they're supposed to be doing, quote unquote? So what would you say to them?
I would definitely have them talk to someone that they look up to that's in their interest of field that they're trying to go to, and see what their options are and see how they got to that field if they kind of had a career change. Because a lot of people in my industry, the fashion industry, they had a career change. They didn't major in fashion. So, ask them questions. They'll definitely be delighted to answer your questions. See what options they have and also see what balances you need to do to get to that point. Because if you need to cut some hours to go fulfill an appointment to do styling or to do hair or something, you need to make that sacrifices. You need to definitely cut out a few things to make some sacrifices. I mean, it's not going to be great at the time, but you need to cut a lot of things out to make yourself happy. Because I've definitely had to cut out a few friends, a few hanging outs, and go hustle and bustle in New York or where else I needed to go.
Okay. And I know you said that one of your goals and where you see this podcast going is to help inspire younger girls. So if you can go back, or if you could go back and give advice to your younger self, what would you tell yourself?
What would I tell my younger self? I think I would tell my younger self that I'm proud of myself. I do not regret any of my instances because it made me the woman that I am now. I wouldn't take back anything. So I think I would tell my younger self that I'm proud of myself.
Okay. Is there a certain moment that you felt this confidence? Like you I don't know if you know, but you like breathe confidence. I feel it. It's all in your presence. So is there like a moment or a certain situation that happened where you felt it yourself?
Definitely when I have something great on, like I really put my pride and joy into it. I just have a certain walk that I just know I look great. I know a lot of people think that, every time you put on something, you look great. But no, it's certain points where I really like coordinate to the T how I want something and it goes the way I want it to go. I just know that I feel confident. I feel good. As long as I feel good, I'm definitely going to be in a good mood or confidence. But overall, I'm pretty secure about my life, about my whole being. I'm very happy at this point in my life. So, I mean, I guess you probably see the confidence, but there's other times where I feel definitely highly of myself.
Okay. Was there a moment in your life where you felt that change? I know you said before in high school you didn't feel as confident. Mm-hmm. Was there a moment, like just a click in your mind somewhere where you were like, okay, like I know I look good. I know I can do this. Did you have that moment?
No, not yet. Not yet. I don't know what it is. I feel like there's still more out there for me. I'm very hard on myself. I'm very precise and matter of fact. So, no, I have not. I feel like I have not finished accomplishing what I want yet.
I think that makes you more relatable. I feel like sometimes when we get it to a certain place, we get too comfortable.
Yes.
And it's very, I guess it's very, I don't know the word I'm looking for. It's very comforting to know that other people go through that. Okay, so what is the best advice you've ever been given?
The best advice I've ever been given was from this elderly lady I used to take care of as a CNA, as a certified nurse assistant. She told me to take possession in everything you want. I didn't really take her seriously, but now, looking back, I definitely would take charge of that. I think I'm pretty much doing that, taking possession in everything that I want and want to conquer.
Okay, and what is 3 things you think people would be surprised to know about you?
Man, 3 things. This is going to be so fun. So an interesting thing that no one would know. I'm going to say, yeah, I think this will be an interesting one. So, after the age of 18, I probably just dropped this life a long time ago. But I've been a track runner since I was like 5 years old. I've been a part of the Junior Olympics. And I had a record for high school for high jump. So, yeah, I ran track and I was very good. I stopped because of my attitude, and me and the coach, I just was not feeling him. But, yeah, I used to run track. I was very good. I was a part of the Junior Olympics. I ran the 100, the 200, the 400, 4x1, 4x2, 4x4, the high jump. And I was a part of the Piscataway High School. Hey, P-Way, Chiefs. I was a part of that record for the high jump in 2004. I think that record was just broken like 4 or 5 years ago. But yes, I ran track. That's something surprising to everybody that met me after 2008. Another one is, God, what is something? Something so weird. I was a part of Girl Scouts. So embarrassing.
Oh, me too.
That was so embarrassing. Yes, I was a part of Girl Scouts. That was definitely my mother's punishment for me. I hated it. And then third one I would say is me and my older sister, my only sister. We have the same birthday. We are exactly 5 years and 1 hour apart. So she was born in 83. I was born in 88. She was born at 12:57. I was born at 11:57.
Ooh. Y'all had good timing.
Yeah, I came early. I came early, so.
You stole her birthday.
I sure did. Oh.
Okay, so if you had a soundtrack to your life, what songs would be on it?
What would be on my soundtrack? I'm so moody. It depends. If I'm happy, I need a little Future up in there because I like to be driving fast. Man, some Jasmine Sullivan, definitely. I can't really pick a song because, I don't know, it depends on my mood. But Jasmine Sullivan, definitely. That's my homegirl. Melanie Fiona. Oh, my favorite song, Where I Want to Be by Danielle Jones.
So you like the R&B?
Yes. Bryson Tiller. I love him. Hey, y'all.
Bryson, if you're listening, hit Mikara up.
Hey. I don't know. I'm so moody. But yeah, definitely those songs, but more so R&B.
Okay. And lastly, I guess I kind of can put these 2 questions together, but what are some words of wisdom that you live by?
You can't stop what you don't see coming. So I like to keep things very low key before the big announcement. I'm very low key. I like to keep like that because just in case anything comes about, a lot of people don't understand. They keep on, asking you, a lot of things don't go as planned. So I'd like to keep things low key until like it's about to come out. Another thing is there's no life without creativity and confidence. So those are the 2 things I've been living by.
Okay, and what are some last words you want to leave the listeners with? They could be words of wisdom, your favorite quote, which you already gave us, or like anything. Well, what do you want them to remember from this podcast?
What would I like to remember? What would I like for them to remember? This is going to be a very interesting podcast. Yeah, just stay tuned. I have a lot of interesting stories that I feel like a lot of African Americans particularly would benefit from. And I definitely have some ventures that I feel like would give great influences, and I would love to hear people's feedbacks.
Okay, so I feel like the podcast, the blogs, the TV shows, the radio shows that make it are real. And I feel like this
Yes.
podcast is real. So everyone needs to stay tuned for the next
Yes.
episode. And this is the
gonna be so
Mikara
fun.
session.
Woo!
Yay!
That was just such a fun and great interview from Danielle. I just loved her questions and how she just tapped into different aspects of what's to come for the Mikara session, along with some personal questions just to get acquainted with me, Mikara. One thing that I made an error on and forgot to mention in that interview as I listened back, I just don't want you guys to think that I sound like an idiot, but the day that I was born, the timing, I mixed up on the timing with me and my sister. My sister was born on April 27th at 10:58 a.m., and I was born on April 27th at 11:58 a.m. So we are exactly 5 years and 1 hour apart. Yes, I know it's super crazy, but I just had to come early. I wanted to come early. The other thing that I forgot to mention in that interview, I forgot to mention the AAU team that led me to the Junior Olympics, which is the Supersonics Track Club in New Brunswick. This is a team that led me to the Junior Olympics during my teenage years. So they definitely gave me great stamina, my body physique, my mind frame, and probably is one of the reasons why I feel like I'm always training for something, or I just go so hard. They were just very hardcore, and it probably just led me to a lot of memories of just how I'm conditioned and how I go about certain things. So big shout out to Supersonics in New Brunswick, that purple and orange. You cannot forget about us. You can't miss us at all. We were definitely obvious. Shout out to them. So I'm so glad that I just going through a transitional phase of just finding my happiness at a young age. It wasn't a very easy phase for me, but once I went back home to my parents' house in New Jersey to just clear my mind and answer some questions that were very unclear to me, I then could just redevelop myself. I had all the answers to what was just question marks in my head and doubts and stuff that was just unclear to me. I knew after a year it was time. It was just time to just stop sitting on thoughts, concepts, what ifs, am I good enough, and most importantly, my craft that I was just getting so much recognition for without even putting my all into. So now that I know what my happiness and my craft is, it's time to just go out with a bang. For this portion, I want to dedicate this to my amazing and wonderful team I had put together to help me pull through my becoming brand, Mikara. I want to start out with my audio engineer, James Merkins. Thank you for making the sound amazing wherever I am in the world recording. I also want to thank Jen Alfred, the graphic designer from Australia. You have been amazing and utterly patient. When I mean patient, I mean patient with me through the whole time of my rebranding. It's been a few months, not a couple, but a few, where we have been just going back and forth with our creativity partnership and making sure everything is clean and matching to my whole persona and the look that I wanted, which I had to incorporate my favorite color, which is lime green. Another thank you to another graphic designer is Fla from Romania for just setting the tone for the wonderful artwork of my podcast cover. She used the look of the infamous image that I used, but Jen Alfred had to redefine it since I redefined my logo. I know I kind of worked backwards, but overall, it just looks great and I love it. I also want to thank Brenda Ryder from Miami. the writer for my taglines and description for the Mikara session. I also want to thank George from Greece for being patient as well and matching a lot of my content to my personality on my website, MikaraReid.com, along with some business strategies we have developed for the Mikara brand. I also want to thank Carl Dennis from CCD Entertainment for the instrumental for the Mikara session intro. I also want to thank Danielle Felton for interviewing me, and also congratulations to her. She is now a Howard University graduate. Shout out to all the HBCUs, undergrads, graduates, alumni. Hey! And also, I want to thank these other set of people that have just been there during my personal and business development phase. I want to thank Sunny Leonarduzzi. She has been very informative on my social media aspect, something that I needed a lot of work on, and she is great. You can find her on YouTube. She does a lot of social media tutorials, and I've also invested my time in developing my social media through her. So I want to thank her for that. I also want to thank Erica Wood, my acting coach. She has been an amazing grace to me personally and professionally. I also want to thank Nick Ciavata, my voiceover coach. I also want to thank Nancy Alusik. Thank you for just letting me be underneath your wing during my fashion industry development phase. I don't even think thank you is enough, but thank you. And also thank you to Fashion Institute of Technology in New York for allowing me to meet her and for her to just give me the exposure that was needed. I also want to thank Diane, my agent, for exposing me to a different industry. I also want to thank the photographers that brought life to my website. That is Dennis from Raw Studios in New York City. And I also want to thank Rosie Simmons from Philly. I also want to thank the mentors from SCORE, Tom, Charles, and Alvin from the New York City chapter. I want to thank you guys for just giving me strength during the exposure, the launch of my website. I want to thank you guys for that. And I also want to thank the #1 SCORE mentors that I have is Bob and Jim from the Naples chapter. I don't even know where to start with those two, but when I blast off this venture, I'm just very excited about it. And if you guys don't know what SCORE is, it's basically a website that helps you develop your business. There's mentors that give you guideline on what to do and how to do your startup business, or if you're in business, they can help you better yourself in the business, the back end of it. It's free. All you have to do is just go on score.org. If you don't know about it, definitely get on it now because it's great and it's very resourceful. And you can find one right near you because it's all across each state. And last but not least, I want to thank my true friends and my one cousin I talk to all the time. You guys have just been there through the good, the bad, the okays, and just the evolution of me. They know who they are. I talk to you enough. I want to thank you guys. I don't think I say it enough, but I definitely hold the ones closely and dearly to the ones that call me randomly to just check up on me or just FaceTime me. It's great to see a face to the voice instead of a text to the screen. Text and emails are just a blur to me. They all look the same and it's just getting very unsentimental to me. But thank you guys for just being there. And also thank you guys for listening. Thank you. You can catch more of the Mikara Session at themikarasession.com. This podcast is my audio blog of building confidence from discussions, thoughts, and topics that I have in my life, and also welcoming other walks of life that I converse with on this podcast. If you want to connect with me more, You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat at The Mikara Life. And you can log on to Facebook to join the continued discussions at facebook.com/Mikara.life. And don't forget to rate and comment the podcast on iTunes or on the MikaraSession.com website. I look forward to hearing from you. Stay tuned. Bye.